Good morning on this September 11th day. Yesterday and today saw lots of pictures and posts about 9/11. And one of my memories from yesterday was a post from, I don't remember what year, but anyway, it was that I was going to be on at 8:30 on 9/11 in order to have Facebook silence at 9 o'clock when the attacks were, in full-fledged going on this fateful day in history. And it's one of those things that we need to remember. It's a part of our history, of our nation, and who we are as a people. And I've seen posts as well that it would be, nice to go back to September 12th, that day after. Not just because of what had happened the day before, but on the day after that, the rallying, the coming together of was enormous to see and to watch, and so it's a day of history that we need to make sure that our children and our grandchildren know of, and it's like so much else of history that, some people would like to have forgotten, like the Holocaust for one thing. And, just so much goes on, but we learn from history. Hopefully we learn from history. And the Bible is a lot of history of the Israelite people and the kings. And, we're looking at Proverbs today, 13 through 15 chapters, and the wisdom of King Solomon. And the first verse we look at today says, "A wise child loves discipline, but a scoffer does not listen to rebuke." I don't know if a wise child loves discipline, but we come to understand that and to know that discipline is good for us. And part of discipline isn't just punishment, but discipline is having the ability to live according to the rules, and we discipline ourselves in how we act. We discipline ourselves in how we treat others, and the discipline isn't just meaning punishment, but the discipline is right living is another way to look at that. So, but it's also, he's talking in here about being told, no, that's not the right way to do it, and to continue to be told you're wrong is really hard. And so a part of discipline, criticism, is to be constructive with it, rather than to say, that's just plain wrong. Let me show you a better way. Let me show you a better way to do things. So, and tragedies in our lives and the way we come together is another way of showing how to do better things and to live together in better ways. Verse 10 of chapter 13, "By insolence the heedless make strife, but wisdom is with those who take advice." And again, that's that, discipline, correction, and that's, all scripture is inspired by God and is useful for training, for teaching, for rebuke, and for training in righteousness. It's that discipline that comes in there and all of those things. Verse 11, "Wealth hastily gotten will dwindle, but those who gather little by little will increase it." And, it's just, to continue one step at a time, and, we go by leaps and bounds, and sometimes, great things happen in a hurry, but often something that's worth it is a little by little, and in so many different ways, in talking about our lives and in so many different things that go on within our lives. Change, if we want to change something about our lives, slow and sure, slow and steady is a lot better than boom, the great big things that way. Verse 14, the teaching of the wise is a fountain of life, so that one may avoid the snares of death. And there are, as I read through these Proverbs each time, I've got some things that are underlined in my Bible from who knows when, but I also have things underlined in my Bible from a fresh reading of it today. And I read it earlier this morning in the house, and I read through it again here in my shop, and things, different things, depending on the things that are going on in your life and everything that's happening. Verse 20, whoever walks with the wise becomes wise, but the companion of fools suffers harm. Surround ourselves with good people. It's who we hang out with. Our character, maybe not our character, but the way people perceive us, the way people think of us, sometimes is formed and shaped by the people that we have as friends, our circle, who we hang out with, and those different things. So, walking with someone who is wise, not falling in with the gang of hoodlums, it's kind of that type of deal. Verse 24, those who spare the rod hate their children, but those who love them are diligent to discipline them. And I wouldn't say they hate their children, but, in today's world, often, parents forget that, hey, I'm a parent first. I don't need to be my child's friend all the time. We need to be on a good relationship basis, but first of all, we need to be the parent that shows the right way, that disciplines, that encourages, and to tell our children, you can't do that, and not to just fall into their traps and give in to their every whim and every desire, and oh, my little Johnny wouldn't do that, no, we need to be aware of what's going on, and we need to make sure that our children and grandchildren and others know the laws, know the way that they should live, so that they can grow up to be good and productive people. Chapter 14, verse 7, leave the presence of a fool, for there you do not find words of knowledge, who you're hanging out with. Verse 16, the wise are cautious, turn away from evil, but the fool throws off restraint and is careless. Verse 23, in all toil there is profit, but mere talk leads to poverty. All talk and no action, big words and, that kind of stuff. Chapter 15, verse 1, great verse. A soft answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger. The tongue of the wise dispenses knowledge, but the mouths of fools pour out folly. Verse 4 again, a gentle tongue is a tree of life, but perversiveness in it breaks the spirit. Verse 5, a fool ignores a parent's instruction. We've got to trust as we grow up that our parents' will for us, their desire for us is good, and to listen. And sometimes we learn that way too late in life. Verse 7 of chapter 15, the lips of the wise spread knowledge, not so the minds of fools. And maybe just to kind of finish up verse 20 of chapter 15, a wise child makes a glad father, but the foolish despise their mothers. And verse 22, without counsel, plans go wrong, but with many advisors, they succeed. And so again, it's, to listen to the elders, to listen to good advice, seek out good advice, but also to be able to have the wisdom to know what is good advice and what is not good advice, to see through the smoke and the screens of, some of the people as they speak. And so again, as just reading through these chapters in the book of Proverbs, there's so many little nuggets of wisdom and so many little things that are there to encourage us, in who we are and who our character is, to just our way of living, our way of making decisions, and all of those different things. And again, one of our decisions needs to be to make sure that our children, our grandchildren, know the heritage of our country, know what it's founded on, and know that we come together as people of this country, but more importantly, people of God, family of God.